Welcome back everyone, and it's day 3 of my little experiment to make a side money engine. And what we're looking at here is not much change on the Atlas Earth end. We have still 6.47 cents a month off that one parcel of land, but that is going to change today. And we'll talk about that when we get to the Atlas Earth segment of the show. I call it a show, but it's more like a 10-minute blurb. Anyway, you probably noticed here I made 23,746 coin, and you're probably wondering why. I will talk more about that tomorrow, but let's just say it has something to do with a little rewarded play option if some of you have already seen it on Coin, and we'll talk about that then. So basically, we're still at the same 6.47 cents a month, and the only major difference is the number of Atlas bucks has increased from 40 to 100, and because of that, we are now ready to buy some land. So I'm going to show exactly where I'm going to place that land right there. And let's go ahead and talk about, while we're at it, the mechanics of the game, Atlas Earth. So you already know the basic one at this point, which is you go to shop, and then you're going to see ads here, and you're going to click ads, or you can buy with real money if you want to, but I strongly recommend the ads. Now let's talk about buying land. So here, we're going to buy some land, and I'm actually going to angle this a little bit better. Buy land. And I'm going to go ahead and buy this right here. Now, as you can see, a common plot of land will pay rent of this about 8 zeros and 111 per second. Now, if you want to see other rarities of land, I talked about rare, epic, and legendaries. Here you can see a list of common, rare, epic, and legendary, their chances of each. Of course, it varies wildly, and how much they would give. So rare would be like 1/6 a second, which is the equivalent of like a 1.5 commons. An epic would be 8 zeros and 2 per second, which is the same as having 2 commons, and a legendary, which is 8 zeros and 4 a second, or it's basically like 4 commons. So let's go ahead and buy this land and see what rarity we get. I hope it's something rarer than a common. So let's click OK. And we're about to find out what it is. And it is a rare. So that means that we can add that rare plot to our tally. And with that, we're going to increase our monthly residual by about, I'd say 9 cents a month, I believe. And that's if we boost at 18 hours a day. Obviously, it'll be more if you boost 24/7, and it will be less if you boost less. So now we've talked about looking at ads to gain bucks. We've talked about using those bucks to buy land. There is one more thing that we have to talk about regarding Atlas Earth, and it's called the diamond hunt. Now, you can't see, but all the way up in the distance over there is a diamond. Now, if I'm within my radius here, this little circle right here, as you can see here, if a diamond arrives in my circle, I can click on it, and it will allow me to get that diamond. And what it will do is I can go to this diamond hunt here, and I can spin a wheel, which is what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spin this wheel, and as you can see, you can get anywhere from a replay to 50 Atlas bucks. Most of the time you're going to get 1, 2, or a diamond though. So you'll get mostly from this side. But let's spin and find out what we get. And we get 1. And let's do the last one. I got these 2 diamonds earlier from outside the apartment complex. And here's 2. So that leaves us with 3 Atlas bucks. And that's not a bad start, all things considered. Now, you can spin up to 3 times without ads, and then 2 more times with ads. But there is no limit to the amount of diamonds you can hold. So a lot of people will hoard diamonds in an attempt to try to gain something, I guess, try to, I don't know. They think there's something involving that with events in the future. I personally think that you should just go ahead and spin 5 times a day if you have the diamonds available. In this case, I only had 2. Now, we have one last thing to talk about, and that is the boosts. Now, I went ahead and let my boost go below 5 hours so I can show you this boost screen. So I'm going to go ahead and click here, and as you can see, when you watch ads, you get 1 hour of a boost. You can max it up to about 6 hours, and you can always recharge every hour after that. Now, you start out with times 30 boosts, but if we take a look at the rent boost outcomes here, I had to stop recording for a minute there because there was a little bit of a loud noise. Anyways, these rent boost outcomes, as you can see, we start off at 30x, and that is good for up to about 125 parcels. It does go a little bit beyond that, but not too much more. From there, the boosts are going to drop to 20x. And then if you check out the Facebook communities and elsewhere, you'll find there's a 15x, a 12x, a 6x, all the way down to 2x. I believe they did this so that no one person could just hoard up a whole bunch of money and like completely run them out, because a lot of this is built on advertising. And a lot of the ads that they grab, well, they would end up losing money if they had a bunch of people gathering 2,500 parcels at 30x and making, what would that be? I think that'd be something like $400, $500 a month. So yeah, that would be a big reason why they're trying to keep it as equal as possible and make sure that like you max out at somewhere around, I would say, normally 40 to 50 bucks a month. Although they have some 40x boost events that they plan to do, some sponsored 40x boost events, where you'll be allowed to make a lot more than that. I think that's why I calculated the ceiling, given that there's like one or two of these boosted events a month, that I see at about 150, anywhere between 150 to $200 a month is probably the ceiling. Maybe even as high as 300 a month if you actually get like a whole ton of parcels. So yeah, there is a bit of give and take in this game, whereas there's a very high floor, there's also a very low ceiling. So you can get up to, within 3-4 months easily, I would say, about making a residual of 56, 57 cents a day with the boost, upwards of 60 cents. But once you hit that 60-cent mark, the 30x boost is going to drop to 20x. And then it's going to climb back up again until you hit about, I think we calculated like 67 cents a day. And this is with 24-hour boosts, by the way, not 18 hours. 18 hours, it would be much lower. And then it would drop to 15x. And I think I've just started seeing rumors about the 15x cutoff being somewhere around 75 cents a day, maybe a little bit lower than that. But again, that's still not, we're not quite sure regarding that right now. But as you can see, you never really make that much more than $1 a day until you really get up there on top of the leaderboards with like the Open Boosters and Atlas Master and Blue Waters of the game, where they're probably pulling a little more than at least $1 a day if they were boosting. So on one hand, I like that there's a high floor. Like, that does give people some hope, knowing that, they can make a little bit of money and it's good enough to pay one of their bills off, a small bill of some sort. On the other hand, it is going to keep some of the more ambitious players from coming around and playing the game. And look, there's a diamond right there that I was talking about, in case you didn't see it. Anyway, yeah, it's going to keep some of those more ambitious players from wanting to play the game and wanting to try other games where they could try to make a little bit more money. But for those of us that are just looking to make a small residual income, a really good residual income, this is definitely this is, to me, is the best possible app to do it. There isn't one that's faster or easier. Now, before I go, I do have to explain that regarding the Coin app, it turns out that I am going to be forced to use my main Coin account for this. Now, that's part of the reason why I have so much Coin put into it, but I have calculated it based on a simulation of how much coin that I've added in a single day for that particular day, and I will talk about what I'm going to do regarding that in the next video, so don't worry about it there. And I will also talk about how you can make residual income with coin. It's not quite as good, but the potential is much better as well. Matter of fact, the potential is at least double that of Atlas Earth on the ceiling, even if the floor is pretty bad to start. So we'll talk about coin, though, next time, and the features of coin. There's a lot more of them. And I guess the last thing was talking about was landmarks, but that's coming soon, and also special hunts, which, again, when they get to it, we'll be talking about those as well as that special 40x boost event that I was talking about down the line. So that's pretty much it for me today. I'm heading out now to DC, and I will see you all later, and I'm going to make a video late tomorrow, like very late tomorrow. So I will have a much better update than I do right now. And hopefully I'll have hit that 1 cent mark. So until next time, everybody,